Good morning, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Baba Bakar, and I'm the Program Director of Sustainable Africa Foundation. And I want to welcome you all today for joining the final session of our Entrepreneur Toolkit webinar series. And today's topic is going to be on case studies and successful stories of entrepreneurs and businesses. And I want to welcome all of you for joining us today. So allow me to introduce our speaker today, Ellen. Ellen, are you here with us?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, um, once again, good morning. My name is Ellen Woshi Irozuru. Before I start, I would just like to give a very big shout out to Sustainable Africa for the amazing work, the incredible work that they have done with this Entrepreneurship Toolkit series. Um, it is honestly very inspiring to see a platform that is so committed to the growth and success of African entrepreneurs. So thank you, Sustainable Africa, for this. Thank you so much. Um, just to introduce myself because I know this is the first time some of you may be seeing me. My name is Ellen Woshi Iruzuru. I am the co-founder at Black Nest Africa, where we help entrepreneurs to start and build businesses that thrive. I am a TEF alumna and also a mentor. I am a Flourish Africa mentor, and I am passionate, extremely passionate about helping entrepreneurs. I firsthand have seen the immense potential of entrepreneurs in the continent, and I have to say that I am truly, truly excited whenever I see their dreams, their visions, their ideas become successful ventures. So, welcome. Um, so today, I'm just going to be sharing some few success stories of entrepreneurs who have done some incredible things in the continent, Nigeria to be specific. And I hope their stories inspires you as much as they have inspired me. I would love for this session to be a very interactive session. I don't want to just talk and it's like you're just listening to me, but I want us to interact. I want us to engage. So I hope you guys are going to assist me with that. Christopher, I can see your hand raised. Do you have a question? Okay. So um, today, we're just going to cover a few things. First, I'm going to be sharing examples of successful businesses in Nigeria, um, their strategies for overcoming challenges, and also what lessons we can learn from this. So, if we're ready, I'm just going to need us to put I'm ready in the chat box or just put some emojis. I want to see thumbs up, I want to see hearts, I want to see clap. I just put the emoji so that I can know that we are ready to start today. Okay, I can see some emojis. All right. Okay, so let's go to the very first example. How many of us know Jumia? How many of us know Jumia? Like I said, this is going to be an interactive class. So okay, yes. So just use the chat, the emojis. If you don't want to talk, if you don't want to use the chat box, just use the emojis. Let me know that we are all flowing. Okay. All right. So we know Jumia, right? And I like to think of Jumia as the Amazon of Africa, where you can buy literally anything from clothes to electronics to shoes, name it, you can find it on Jumia, right? But when Jumia started, can you believe that they also faced some challenges? One of the challenges is logistics and second, consumer trust. And as I'm teaching, I want you to be able to relate this to your business, because we look at these big brands today and we feel like they just blew up out of nowhere. But some of the challenges that we're currently facing in our business, these big companies have also faced it. So the first being logistics issue. Nigeria is a very big country, and the terrain around this country is different. So we have some areas like in the cities where they have good roads, everything is smooth and easy. But we also have the rural areas where sometimes the roads can be really, really bad. The roads can be extremely bad, and to an extent, or sometimes I would say that there are not even roads at all to these places. And one thing is, Jumia needed to deliver products, right? Needed to deliver to these customers, whether they're in the rural area or whether they are in the urban area. Another thing is consumer trust. Can you believe that when Jumia started, people did not trust them enough? Just like you in business, there might be people who are skeptical about your product, there might be people who are skeptical from shopping from you. Jumia also faced this kind of skepticism. They were an online platform, and at that time, Jumia started in 2012. Shopping online was not really a thing at that time. So when Jumia started, most people believed in things like cash on delivery. So it's when you deliver the products that people will pay you. And Jumia is an online platform. I mean, they need to be paid before they deliver these products, right? But the problem is people were scared of being scammed. People were scared that if they shop online, they might not get their products, or they might get a bad product. Okay, are we following? Are we following? Are we following?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, what did Jumia do? They had to go and find strategies to help them in this area. So, first thing is they started to think of delivery solutions. And the next thing they needed to do was to build trust, right? So, they built a system that could handle this delivery. What did they do? They went to partner with some local delivery companies. That's the first thing they did. Um, I come from Plateau State, and the name of my village is Riom. And I can imagine that most of you do not know where that is. Now, imagine I place an order on Jumia and I needed that product delivered to me in my hometown. How would Jumia do it? Let's say Jumia was a business in Lagos. So they had to sit down and think, how are we going to do this? How can we deliver this product? And of course, they came and partnered with some local delivery companies, and that really, really helped them. By partnering with a company in Jos, now we're imagining, I'm sure that company would be able to deliver my product for me. So that was the first thing they did. The next thing was they put in multiple delivery methods. So they didn't just say, oh, we're only going to use delivery bikes. No, they also used vans, so that when they have to deliver a lot of products, um, it wouldn't be difficult for them. And they also use vans so that within the city areas, um they could make these deliveries. Another thing they did was use warehouse and fulfillment center. So if your business was in the north, for example, they will put fulfillment centers in the north, maybe in Kano, so that it can serve all the businesses within states. How do I put it? Within states within that area. So maybe they have a hub in Lagos. It will be able to serve Lagos State, Ibadan, Ogun State. So that was a creative thing that they did to ensure that they were able to deliver these things. Now, for building trust, what did they do? They realized that everybody was doing cash on delivery. So they created a system where they could also do cash on delivery that benefits both them and the customers. Another thing they did to improve trust was they started giving money back guarantees. So if a business owner or if someone shops from them and they receive their product and the product is bad, or the product is not what they ordered, they would give that person a full refund. And I, for one, have experienced this firsthand. I remember there was a period, I think that was last year, where I got a product from Jumia. It was a face wash. And after getting it, um, I realized that there was mold inside the product. And this is me living in a remote area. So after getting the product, I realized there was mold, and I asked Jumia, or I informed Jumia about this issue, and I had to return the product, and they gave me back my money in full. Usually, other companies might say, okay, you can shop another thing, but they sent my money back to my account. And that was such a wonderful experience that made me want to continue using Jumia. So what is the key takeaway from Jumia's success story? We need to understand what our customers want and create solutions that fit their need. Are we together? Are we together? So before I move on, yes, okay, wonderful, wonderful. We're together. Okay, so let's move to the next example. So the next company we're going to be looking at is Paystack. Paystack. Now, Paystack is a company that helps businesses accept online payments. I think most of us are familiar with Paystack. But when Paystack started, they experienced some challenges. Can you believe it? That Paystack experienced some challenges. Now, one of the challenges they faced were regulatory issues. Another one was competition. Now, Nigeria has a lot of rules to govern how money flows in and out. Now, because of these rules, it can be quite difficult for fintech companies. I mean, if you've tried to build a fintech before, I'm sure you've experienced this. And why does Nigeria do this? It's to avoid things like fraud or money laundering. So the rules can be very complicated and they can keep changing. Like before you know it, the rules have changed. I can remember, I think sometime last year, there was a time that um, the CBN put sanctions on companies like Bamboo, Trove, RiceVest, Chaka, where you could no longer really transact on this platform, and it was there for almost 6 months. So these are some of the rules and regulations that Paystack struggled with when they were starting out. Another thing is competition. There were already other payment solutions out there, such as InterSwitch and Flutterwave. And these people were also looking for customers at the same time that Paystack was starting. And these companies are big companies, and they were doing very well for themselves. So now Paystack had to convince people. They had to convince people to come and use their platform. Now, what strategies did Paystack use? They built relationships and they also focused on teamwork. How did they do this? So Paystack built relationship with these regulators. So the people who are making the rules, Paystack went close to them and became their friends. And because of this, they now understood that, okay, there's something called compliance that they have to do, right? So Paystack now hired a compliance team so that they will make sure that every time they are in check, no matter how much the rules change. Another thing is they became close to their customers. They built relationships with their customers. And because of this relationship, they were able to get feedback from their customers. And this helped them to improve their services and make their platform exactly what their customers want to use. Finally, teamwork. Now, Paystack went to collaborate with some banks so that they could offer more services and reach more people, which really helped them to grow very much. So, what is the key takeaway from this? Collaborate with others. Collaborate with others. You're not here to do business alone. Ensure that you collaborate with others. And finally, the last business we're going to be looking at is House of Tara. I'm sure most of us have heard of House of Tara before. And House of Tara is a beauty brand that offers makeup products and training for makeup artists. Now, when House of Tara started, there was fierce competition. Fierce competition and getting recognized was a problem. House of Tara started in 1999. And at that time, Nigerians were not used to using Nigerian-made products. We were so used to importing products, and there was fierce competition from international brands, not even local brands. International brands. Now, House of Tara needed to figure out what to do when it came to this fierce competition. And by international brands, we're talking about companies like MAC, companies like Maybelline, who had made it internationally, and they were also in different multiple countries. Now, they also had to get recognized. So what did they do? The first thing they did was they focused on their uniqueness, and then community building and training programs. What do I mean by focused on their uniqueness? House of Tara decided that, okay, since we're an African or a Nigerian company, we're going to cater our products, or we're going to include Nigerian or African skin tones, or we're going to focus on African skin tones specifically. And when they did this, it really set them apart from the international brands, because at that time, nobody was doing it. At that time, nobody was doing it. So by incorporating African skin tones into it, they really caught the attention of the African market. Another thing they did was they built strong community. They built strong community around their brand, because they started doing training programs for these young girls who wanted to become makeup artists. And this helped them to sell their products and also empower their customers. And because of this single action, they were able to carve out a niche. They were able to carve out a space in this oversaturated market for themselves. Now, in order to even get more recognized, they started doing makeup for big events and important personalities. So celebrities, when they are going for massive events, they will come together and do makeup for this kind of people. And that really got their name out there. That really puts their name out there. So what is the key takeaway from House of Tara's story? Ensure you build a community around your brand, because there is something so powerful about building community when it comes to your brand. So what are some lessons that we can take from this? The first is resilience. No matter what, I want to encourage you to keep going. No matter what, don't stop. Be resilient. You're looking at these brands today and you're looking at them like big brands, but they started out just like you. The same way, maybe someone is scared that your business is a scam. They did it to Jumia too. That didn't stop them. The same way you might fear, oh, this market is oversaturated. House of Tara experienced it, and look at them today. Just learn. Continuously learn and don't give up. Always be open to learning new things and keep improving. Keep improving, and stay flexible. Be ready to change your approach based on what your customer wants, because in the end, you are here to serve them, right? In the end, you are here to serve them. So now I want you to take these lessons and apply them to your business. I want you to take action. Ensure you take action, because your dreams would only remain dreams unless you take the first step. At this point, I am open to any questions you have. Yeah, please ask your questions and I will be ready to answer them. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Isaac, I can see your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes, Ellen, thank you for a good lesson that you shared with us. It, it might be a question, but it's sort of an addition as well.
Yes, go.
Um, I would love to know if you're aware that we have a lot of people owning brands over social media, but they are zero at the moment. And the biggest challenge they are facing is that they're facing a challenge of we register their brands because they're not earning anything at the moment, but
Yeah.
also they're also facing a challenge that uh, when they present an idea to big fishes, the big fish happen to take their ideas and implement in other way around
Mm-hmm.
without them knowing, and going up over uh, uh, that stealing the idea all over. And the person who just presented the idea to the big fish, for them to at least get it, a way of collaborating together
Mm-hmm.
in a business, ends up like, I had this idea before, but
Yes.
I presented to this person. This person has been implemented, and when you start following up, it
Yes.
sounds like you are attacking them. So they might be taking you to do cereal and some stuff like that. So like, uh, how do we make these young people in a comfortable zone
Yeah.
where they can be able to collaborate, but as well they can be able to make it out there. It takes time to make it out there.
Of
For
course.
example, I own Izone company at the moment, but it might take some years for the company to become a company.
Yes.
I even managed to only to register as a business name, but there are some opportunities for me
Mm-hmm.
to get them. I have to register them as a company. So
Yes.
uh, one thing that I want just to say that are we able
Mm-hmm.
to have young people in the space and help them to get maybe some initial funds to propel their businesses, maybe find a way out there uh, where the ideas will remain theirs, but they get some supports. But also, the support has to be well monitored and followed
Yes.
up. Um, for these young people to not play around with the support provided, because there's some people giving support and they go around and the wrong way with the support given.
Definitely.
So in that way you let down even the person who supported you.
Yes.
Yes, so I think to my side, if we come around with a way to see a better way to support this generation, because the generation is here, you find it has a lot of challenges, and the issue of technology also
Yeah.
is a big challenge. We
Yes.
have AI as well, so there's a lot in the market, but we need to see a way. These people, they should have low expectation in growth, but
Mm-hmm.
they should be growing gradually and make it out there with a positive outcome. So over to you, Miss Ellen. I hope you understood the question and some of the additions that I made.
Yes, that was a
Thank you.
very long and interesting question. It's not something I haven't heard before, because even when entrepreneurs come to us and we're like, okay, we try to probe to understand their business idea, a lot are skeptical because they don't want us to steal their ideas and run with it. I have experienced it a lot. One thing I would encourage entrepreneurs to do is to get a non disclosure agreement. That way it is legally binding. And I know the thing comes to, oh, we don't have money, we can't register our business. But there are some companies, for example, if you're a part of our community, we kind of assist you with that. And to an extent that we provide some subsidized business registration for entrepreneurs, so that can help you have a solid ground, because your idea is never truly your idea until you seal it. That's when things like trademarks come along and patents and all of these things. Yes, it's not easy to get, but and I believe that an entrepreneur should work towards that. There are so many platforms that actually assist with that. For me, I would say I am blessed to have been a part of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, where they provided funding for my idea at the time. So I would also encourage other entrepreneurs to try them. They should try them. I mean, they give you $5,000 to test your idea. I don't think anyone in Africa does that. And it's for African countries, all the 54 African countries. They will give you $5,000 to go and test your idea. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, fine. But there's still steps and stages to it. So there's your application stage. Do you know how to apply for these things? Um, well, thank God for this entrepreneurship toolkit series, because I'm sure it has opened entrepreneurs' eyes to a lot of things. So there's a lot of factors, even when it comes to funding these entrepreneurs. For our community members, we do provide some micro grant support. So maybe that could help with like registering the business and maybe starting to an extent. I think maybe if you find communities like this, it could also be helpful. But in the end, it's there's no one shoe fits all solution, but you need to try and protect yourself first with a non-disclosure agreement when you're going to whatever partner or whatever person you want to collaborate with, because it's normal to steal ideas. I mean, it's not right, but a lot of people do it, and because they have the funds to run it, they go ahead and do it. So maybe try with a non-disclosure agreement first of all, or go to go to people that you can actually trust. I mean, I'm sure to an extent you would know the kind of people you can trust. You don't just run to a stranger with your idea. And I believe that if you can get one idea, you can always get another one. So maybe someone stole your idea the first time. There's If you can get that idea, that means you're a visionary. It doesn't stop there. In a day, I can have 50 ideas to start new businesses. So I'd like to encourage you. It doesn't stop there. Keep pulling more ideas. I'm sure some of us have experienced this thing. Maybe you think of something that you want to do, but you're not able to do it yet, like a business idea. And all of a sudden, maybe you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or something, and you see someone has done it. So sometimes I feel like the vision doesn't just come to you alone sometimes, and there's a pool of ideas that you can always use. And even if that same idea is still what you want, you can have a different approach. Let's say there are multiple people doing makeup business today, but then you can always carve a niche out for yourself. I would say, lastly, don't just how do I put it? Don't tell the whole idea. Don't tell the whole idea. Reserve some secrets for yourself, and I think you'll be able to protect some of the things. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Mr. Isaac. If there's anything I haven't answered, please let me know.
Yes, you're free answered. Thank you so much, Helen. And maybe we would love to keep on connecting after the call.
Of course.
So I don't know if there is an arrangement for us to keep on connecting, maybe on WhatsApp or where on or email. It will be okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure Sustainable Africa can answer that.
I I I forgot to mention it, Ellen. I
Okay,
think you should share your
okay,
social media handles on the chat book so that
okay,
that way we can,
okay.
connect.
All right. Let me see.
Endurance,
Can share a link.
are you here?
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm on transit at the moment. The road is not so clear, so I think maybe when I'll be arriving in a few minutes. I'll be on place and stay tuned for. But I'm enjoying the flow. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so I just put um, our IG page on the chat box, so you can connect with us anytime there. If you still have any questions, I'm open to answering any of your questions.
So, any question, guys? Me, I have a question. I don't know, but I'm
Please go
waiting
ahead.
for the our participant first to.
Ask their
Okay.
question.
It looks like there's no much questions. So my question is about the Tony Elimelu Foundation grant that you
Okay.
you won.
Yes.
I would like to know how the process is, and
Well, it's a very, very interesting process, I would say. First, you do the application. Every first to, I think, 1st of January to 31st of March, the application opens every year. After you apply, put in all the right details, emphasis on right details, then you submit your application. After submitting your application, then you wait for the selection process. Um, Usually, I think after a month or so, they would give feedback on the people who have been shortlisted. And yeah, once you get shortlisted, you get added to the platform. That somebody will contact you, or you get an email with the fact that you have been shortlisted by this platform. So when you get in, you start. They have a 12 weeks training program. That's 3 months. They're going to train you for 3 months on everything. It's like an incubator or accelerator, if we're familiar with some of these terms. So they train you from understanding your product to who your customer is. You do a business model canvas so that you can understand business very, very well. At the end of 12 weeks, you get to create a business plan and a financial plan. Let me say it again. At the end of 12 weeks, after all this training, you would create a business plan and a financial plan for your business. So once that is done, you submit it. And of course, there are other programs that you get to attend, such as the Tony Elumelu Foundation Forum in Abuja. Some of the exciting parts where you get to be in the room with presidents of different countries. You get to be in the room with people, potential partners from all 54 countries in Africa. You get to sit with them, you get to talk with them, you have the chance to walk up to this president and try to get a partnership, try to get collaboration, and talk with them one on one. You get to meet a whole lot of people. When It's usually in Abuja, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, and it's always interesting. It's always interesting. So that aside, you would also, once you submit your business plan and your financial plan, it will need to get approved. So it could be approved on the first try, or you get some other tries. There's usually a deadline. And by now, we're looking at the end of the year. It's already September, October. So once your business plan has been approved, um, Another thing is, you if you don't have a bank account, a UBA bank account, you would have to open up, and we're talking about a business bank account now. So all the time, that's when you get to register your business, open your business bank account, and all of that. So once that is open, you submit your account number. Of course, you're going to be on the platform, and yeah, you get funded. We got funded in tranches. That's two tranches. So first, they will give you like $2,000, and that's just to ensure that you're actually not going to run away with their money. So you would have to purchase, maybe if you said in your business plan that you're going to purchase equipment and whatever you say that you want to use the money for, they want to see that you have at least done some of it. So whatever you do, maybe you got a store, maybe you created new products, or whatever you did, you send them receipts, you send them pictorial evidence of all these things. And once that is done, we got our remaining money, which was about $3,000, and that was it. And of course, there's still a follow up. After a year or two, you get a chance to become a mentor on the platform, and it's quite interesting because it opens you up to a lot of opportunities. It just doesn't stop at you just getting funding, but from time to time, they send us emails with multiple opportunities, chances to get to meet different people. For example, if you happen to be in the US, when they're currently in the US, or maybe when Mr. Tony Lumelu is going to maybe see the US president, sometimes he wants us along to show us off as his entrepreneurs. And you get the chance to meet people in the White House, or wherever, whatever activity he's doing. So it's quite interesting. Very interesting. And I encourage entrepreneurs here, if you've never applied, January is coming, please go and apply. It's a wonderful platform to be a part of.
Wow, that's amazing. So, one more question. So, is there any tip or tricks, to actually have your application stand out of the
Mm.
crowd? Is
So
there any tips?
first is your understanding of metrics. And just so we know, to be honest, I didn't get it in my first try. So I also want to encourage people to really try. Like, just because you don't get the grant immediately, that doesn't mean that you won't get it. I tried in, I think it was 2017, the first time, and I didn't get it because I didn't understand what they were asking. So, if you are not keeping records, I try to encourage. I believe maybe most of us here have not started business. So when you are starting a business, keep your financial records. If they buy one thing from your shop, or if you pay for one thing, if you buy one thing for your shop, or if someone buys, these are your expenses and these are your sales. Keep notes of how much it is, because these are some of the things that you impute in the form. They ask you things like your break even volume. Break even is like, how many products do you need to sell before you start making a profit? Or how many services do you need to sell, before you start making a profit? Apart from the usual things, which are like, what is your product? What problem are you solving? What is your solution? All these kind of things. So it's just really understanding what these things are that will help you. When I first applied, I didn't know what they were talking about. So I failed woefully. I failed really, really terribly. I wasn't even surprised when I got the rejection email, but I had to learn these things. I had to go and find someone that could teach me all these things, all these financial terms, because then it's boring. It's not really interesting to learn them. It's boring, but you need them to be able to get more opportunities. So when I fully understood it, I put in my application, and yeah, I got in. I got in. So I think that's the tip I'll give. Know your metrics, understand your metrics, and anything you don't understand, you have Google. Thank God for ChatGPT now. Put it in and try to understand. But if you lie, they will catch you. Let me just say that. feel like they'll catch you because they will do their due diligence. They'll actually come and check. And from time to time, they'll come and check whether what you said is true. Even when you start business, we had visits. We had visits. So they'll come to that your business address that you put and you said you have shop. They will come there to see and be sure if you actually have a shop there. So don't
Okay, okay. What if I don't have a address? I operate remotely.
that's your you put your remote address because when
Okay.
they came, I was still operating in my house, you know. So they came to the house and they wanted to see the space I was operating in, and they shared a story of one lady that they had funded, and she used the money to do her wedding. So these are some of the challenges that founders face. So sometimes when people don't fund you, is don't feel bad because they are going through it too. The same way you are going through it, they are going through it too. Imagine funding someone $5,000 and they for their business and they use it to marry, use it to do wedding. Even if it's you, how will you? So these things. Well, um, yeah. I don't know if there's any more questions. Oh,
Yeah, from my own end, I don't think I have more questions. You have answered all the questions I have today. If you have question, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, or you want to share more lights.
yes, please. Feel free. Be bold.
Feel free, feel free.
Okay. Maybe he can just type
Okay.
his question in the chat box.
Yes, you can type it.
Right. I don't know if his network will permit it.
Yeah. Hello, is it clear now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you, Endurance.
Hello.
Okay. It's like there is network issue,
Yeah.
but so let's just close the session.
All right.
Since you guys don't want to ask question. Okay,
Okay.
Sifau is raising, and you can unmute yourself and ask.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Miss Ellie, for that wonderful interesting topic.
Thank you.
My question is right. In Nigeria and the world as a whole, there's a lot of competition everywhere. People only like the same businesses and the same idea. My question is like, how do you like make your own business or products stand out from others?
Okay.
Like, do you have a tip? Yeah.
Do I have a what? Sorry, I didn't get the last
It's
part.
important like
Keep
to
up.
make your own like yeah
Okay.
tips yeah.
Okay. Okay. Simple. Your branding. Um, that's the simplest way, and I would still go back to the case study we had with House of Tara. You can imagine when House of Tara started, right? The competition was high and it was an international competition. We're talking about big companies in the US like Mac, like Maybelline, if you know some of these brands. And nobody wanted any Nigerian made product. So she had to go back and think, like, what can I do to make me different? And she decided that okay, all these brands they cater to white people, and we Africans were just managing to use these white people's products. Our skin is different. Our what do they call it? Our I'll say weather is different. So what can I do to actually stand out? And she decided that okay, she's going to cater to African skin tones because nobody is doing that currently, right? So by that time, she now created a range of products that cater to African skin tones. So in the end, you have to do your own research. That really helped them to stand out. Another thing is she checked all these makeup brands. What were they not doing? They were not providing training. They were not providing training. So she started bringing young girls to train them. And in the process, these young girls will now buy her products and start using her products, for makeup everywhere. So that way, she's reaching out to more people. More people are getting to know her products because of these training programs, these young girls that will go and do makeup. And she didn't just stop there. She now thought, okay, my name is not that big. How can I get my name big? She went to celebrities to start doing makeup for them. And I don't want us to look at this thing as a one day thing. It didn't happen in one day. She started in 1998. She probably didn't blow up till maybe 2011, 2012 before we really started hearing House of Dara. So it might take time, but figure out that one thing that helps you stand out. There is something that all these brands are not doing. And to tell you a secret, in Nigeria, customer service will really help you stand out. So if you can have great customer service where you don't just stop at, okay, customers bought the product, bye bye, but really nurturing that customer's journey. It might be okay, they're even having a difficult time maybe shopping from your website, but maybe the little attention you give, showing them how to appropriately, get this thing, it might resonate and it can help. So that's a little secret for Nigeria. Nigeria, the customer service is really, really terrible. So if you can do really great customer service, it will help you to stand out. But also think in your industry, you have to do the groundwork. Whatever industry you're in, you need to kind of be in the rooms with your competitors products, whether maybe if it's perfume, find out what people like about perfume and what is missing in that industry, and then try your best to amplify it for yours. I hope I was able to answer your question. Okay.
Okay, Ellen, we have one more question on the chat box.
Okay.
For Joe is asking, hello, Ellen,
Yes.
amazing journey. My question is, with the growth of the African continental trade stuff,
Interest.
do you see some negative impacts for existing businesses?
Hmm.
That's his question.
Um, the problem with free trade is it adds to the competition. It adds to the competition. I'm one for free trade, but it can also be bad for small businesses because when there's no free trade in a specific country, small businesses thrive because people can come to you to buy. And sometimes, because you're small businesses, your cost of operations might be too expensive. But when we can get it from another country, for example, Nigeria and China, and your import duties are a very tiny amount, the product becomes cheaper. And I would say most people will go for those imported brands. So, yeah, I do see some negative impacts for existing businesses, most especially small businesses. But I would like to encourage them to try their best to stand out in as soon as possible. They should get their products out there. They should increase their marketing efforts so that they can get known as the go-to business for one thing or the other. They should get their own list of customers who can be loyal to them, and that way they might not have so many issues. I hope I have been able to answer your question. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So,
I guess
any other questions,
any
or
other
should we just
question?
round up?
Maybe if there is, I can take one more before I go. But if there's no questions, we can round up.
It looks like you have answered all our questions today, Ellen.
All right. It was wonderful being here. Thank you, Sustainable Africa, once again for what you do.
To keep
Um,
going see this.
okay.
Oh, is someone I
I
oh
think,
so your engagement and enthusiasm have made this session truly special.
thank you. Thank you.
As you move forward, remember to apply what you learned today.
Yes.
Turn the ideas you learned today into reality, and together we can cultivate a thriving entrepreneurship community. I'm Ibrahim Baba Ubakar, the program director, and I wish you the best on your entrepreneurial journeys. Keep innovating and inspiring. Thank you, everyone.